Hello there, my name is Pat Crider and I am going to make a coconut cream pie. You could better call me Mimi because that's what my 7 grandchildren call me and I love being called Mimi. So we're going to say Mimi is going to make a coconut cream pie. So I'm going to take my double broiler right here. I've already got some water here in the pot and we're going to put our double broiler in the top of the pot. And then I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of sugar, okay? And I am going to also add, let's see, this is a 1/3 cup of flour. That was a cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of flour. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stir this up because we are going to add some milk to this. So let's get this flour and sugar stirred up in the pot and get it mixed up a little bit so when we start adding our milk, it will blend in well. So let me get my milk and I'll be right back. Okay, got the milk and I need to bump in right here and get a cup. So I'm apologizing, but I'm gonna have to have a cup right out of there also. And I'm gonna get a measuring cup and I'm gonna add 2 cups of milk. So the key to this, when you're adding your milk, you want to add it very slow because you don't want it to lump up, okay? So let me pour my cup in here. All right, there's 1 cup. And I'm going to take this and add it. Let me get that milk out of your way. I'm going to take it and add just a little bit as I go. Just enough to kind of start getting the bottom of the pan just a little bit wet. And keep stirring because what happens if you add it in too fast, your flour can get lumpy. And you don't want your flour to lump up because when you start cooking this, you'll have a lumpy pie pudding and you do not want that. So we're going to add the 1st cup. After you get the 1st cup in, you can add the 2nd cup and you are fine to add it, you know, any way you want it. But we have to add the 1st cup slow. So I have just about got it now. Just a little bit more and we will have that all. Let me look right here, make sure I've got all the little pieces there. All right, it looks like everything is wet. That's what we want it to be, everything in the bowl to be wet. And let me kind of show it to you. If you can see everything down in here is just basically, it's flour, sugar, and now I'm adding milk, and we want to make sure there's no lumps in here. So I'm going to stir around and make sure there's no lumps. This is going to be good because this is Jim's favorite pie. That's my husband, and he loves this pie. So now I can add the milk in just gradually, and I'm just going to keep pouring, and we're going to get it up to 2 cups. And now I'm going to turn my burner on, and I'm going to really turn it on high to start with because I want it to start getting warm. I just didn't want it to get warm until we was ready to put this milk in here. So let's put our other cup of milk in. There we go. And I'll set this milk out of the way. Matter of fact, better set it back in the refrigerator. It's not good to leave milk out, is it? Put it right back in there. Alrighty, and now we're going to stir. You can start seeing the steam rolling around this pot just a little bit. Now I'm going to add this other cup of milk. Now it doesn't matter how fast I add it because I've already got enough liquid in here. I can just pour the whole cup in here and we would be fine. If I am making 2 pies, I actually will double this recipe and it's just fine to do that. But I'm just making 1 today. So let me put that over there. And the key to this pudding is you want to actually watch this, and you don't have to constantly stir it, but you need to keep it stirred because as it starts to thicken, that will stick to the bottom of the pan kind of, and you don't want it to stick. You want it to keep, because that will also make a lumpy. That will make a lumpy pudding too, and we don't want no lumpy pudding, right? We didn't discuss that one time. So we're going to do this, and we're just going to stir it. Now, it takes just a little bit of time, actually, for this to to get thick. So, and then what it says in the recipe is you, after it cooks and gets thick, after it starts getting thick, you're to cook it 2 minutes longer. So what I'm doing is just kind of watching it and making sure when it gets thick that it's going to be ready to, what we do after we get that in, though, after I do that, and it cooks its 2 minutes, then we're going to take it off and we're going to put our eggs in. So while that is getting just a little bit ready, I am going to go ahead and crack my eggs and get them ready. So let me show you. I don't know, you probably can't see what I'm doing really well here. Now, this thing's starting to boil real fast. So I am going to turn it down a little bit because we don't want it to boil over. It's blowing out steam, so we want it to slow up a little bit. Okay, let's see right here. Take my first egg, and now I'm just used to doing it this way, girls, guys. I break my egg just like that, and then I just take it and do the old-fashioned way. This is the way I was taught, so this is the way I still do it. I just take that egg and pray I don't break the yellow, because that's the key, is you do not want to break the yellow. You want this to pop loose from it, and you just move it backward and forward until that actually leaves, and it's on this. There we go. Now, all I've got in here now is the yellow, so I'm going to put it in a different bowl. Alrighty, then we're going in for the second one. Let me stir this one time to make sure we're still good. Yeah, you can see that it is starting to get warm, so it will be ready to stir real shortly. So we're going in with our next egg. It actually takes 3 eggs. So I'm going in with this next egg, and we're going to break it and get the yellow separated from the yolk, or you get the yolk separated from the other. And I'm going to just pour that yolk over in there, and we're going to go in for one more. It takes 3 eggs. So this is our third egg. All right, let's see if I can get it popped open here. All right, here we go. Just take it in one side to side. That one came out fast, but let's make sure we don't, because there's a little bit more in there I want to get out. You don't want to get any yellow into the whites of the eggs, because I'm going to rinse my hands off, guys. You don't want to get any yellow into the whites of the eggs, because they will not beat well if you do. Okay, so that is the key, not to get the yellow. Do not break your yolk and get it into the whites of the eggs. Okay. All right, this is starting to act right now. So it's not thickened yet, but it's getting hot and getting ready to start thickening. So we will keep stirring here. I just love this pie. And you know what's the neatest part about this pie? You can make a banana pie, okay, just by putting bananas in it, in the bottom of it, adding this pudding on top. You can make a chocolate pie just by adding a little bit more sugar and some cocoa. You can make a caramel pie just by adding some brown sugar. And then you can make the coconut cream pie. So this has such a good versatile pudding. You can change it just a little bit, and it makes a whole, a whole different meal for you, or a whole different dessert. So it's starting to thicken, but not thick enough yet. I hope all you guys and girls like to cook out there, because I love to cook. I love to bake, and I love to cook. That has just been always my fun thing. I was raised at home with mom and dad, but I had an older sister that was about 12 and a half years older than me. And of course, she got married when I was 6 years old. So unfortunately, I started staying with her son too, and she really, I'm telling you, that lady could cook. Loretta was her name. Loretta, I have to say that on here because I have to honor her. She was such a great cook. Oh my goodness. And so I watched her, and I was with her constantly, wanting to do and wanting her to show me. And so I feel like everything that I have accomplished is because of her, because Mother cooked, but Mother cooked the old-fashioned way. You know, she didn't do a lot of different things. It was just basic stuff. But my mom can make some cakes now, let me tell you. All right, this is starting to thicken up here. Let me see right here. I'm going to put my timer on right here for 2 minutes. And I'm going to keep stirring, okay? We'll keep stirring and let it keep cooking. Because they say after it thickens up, basically to keep stirring and not time it for 2 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. And all it's doing now is really getting thick. So it's thickening up, and that's what we want to do. And after it gets thick, I'm going to set it off, and we're going to beat those egg yolks up that I separated a minute ago. We're going to beat them just a little bit. And then we're going to add those egg yolks into this pudding. And I'll show you about that. So I'm telling you, this is so good. Let me go ahead and turn my oven on, girls. Let me get it here on broil. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on broil because we're going to make a meringue too. And I wanted to make sure that that oven is ready when I'm ready. So it's getting really thick now. It's got about 50 seconds left, and we're ready to start working on it in a different way. But you'll see how yummy this is. Now, people can buy the pudding out of the box, and I know a lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that if you're in a hurry and want to do something fast. But you know what? If you can just take a few more minutes and make this pudding, what a difference it makes, girls. It is so, so delicious. I've just always believed anything that's homemade is always better. That's just kind of my slogan. So, that's the way this pudding is. You can buy vanilla pudding in those packs and they're good, but you can make your own and it's delicious. So let's see, we have 10 seconds, so we are about there. Just about there. And what I'm going to do is take this pot and put it on the back burner. And there we go, there's our time. So I'm going to slide this right off. And what I'm going to do then is I am going to move this pot. Let me see if I can just bring it out of here and put it over here so I can reach it. I'm going to set it right down here. And I will move it down a little bit, girls, so y'all can see what I'm doing here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 egg yolks and just kind of beat them up a little bit. Just like this. Okay? You don't want to beat them crazy. You just want to beat them up. Okay? Now then, before I pour it in, girls, because this is hot, and I know you all have heard this, take a spoonful of this and put it in here and stir it up. What that's doing is getting that pudding ready to put in there without frying those eggs. Okay, so then I'm going to just take those eggs and I'm going to pour them into my pudding. And this is what makes it yellow, believe it or not. It's going to make them yellow. And then when I get these in here and get them stirred up good, we're going to cook that again for 2 more minutes. And then it will be ready to start assembling and putting together. Let me get that back on the burner. And we're going to stir this up, and I'm going to set it right back up here now. And we're going to cook it again. Let me get it stirred up good. I want everything to be assembled right. All right, we're going to let me turn you back up a little bit so I can see ya. We're going to actually put the timer again for 2 minutes. And we're going to cook that 2 more minutes, okay? Can you see it okay? All right, stirring constantly this time. We want to stir constantly. Okay. Then after we do this, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in it. That's after it comes off of the burner, okay? So once I cook it for 2 more minutes, this is actually cooking your eggs now. And I'm getting sprayed with this heat. It feels like it's 100 degrees coming up from here, but I'm right over this pot and can't move out of the camera. So y'all can see the steam coming up. Keep trying to turn it to make it go another way. There we go. Alrighty, let's see. We've got still a minute here. Just 1 more minute. Okay. And girls, y'all love this. you are going to love it. I'm telling you. Let me get this thing cooked up here, and you're going to see it. You're going to want to bake it today for dinner tonight. Because now I made a homemade crust, girls. I got up this morning and went ahead and made my crust because you need to let your crust cool before you actually put it together, because you're going to beat your egg whites up. I'll show you how we're going to do that. This is a simple egg white recipe. It's not using the creamy tartar. It's just a very simple recipe, and I'll show you how to do that also. All right, 20 seconds. So we're getting there. And this one has a little bit of the coconut. I mean, it has a cup of coconut in it, and then it has about a third of cup of coconut on the top of the meringue, the whipped egg whites. All right, 8 seconds. We are about there, guys. We are about there. All right, there we go. There is our, I'm going to set it back off here again. And we'll pick it up and bring it back out here one more time. Let me see, I need to probably lower that a little bit again so you girls can kind of see right there. Let me move it in, maybe that'll help. Nope, move it out will help. Move it out will help a little bit. Okay, all right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of butter, because this is important. While it's hot, you want to do that. So I'm going to just cut off 2. Right there's 1. And right there is 2. There's 2 tablespoons of butter. And then we're going to add in some vanilla flavoring, and it's a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. So let me get my measuring spoon here. Right, there we go. Teaspoon of vanilla. And this is not pure vanilla. It's the kind of like what you call the fake vanilla. It's the cheaper vanilla. So I usually I let it run over just a little bit. Because the teaspoon, I put a teaspoon in there and just keep pouring and let it run over just a little bit, because the taste is not as much as the pure vanilla. Alrighty, so now we are, let's see right here, we are ready to add in 1 second. I've got to make sure I get my butter melted before I put in my coconut, okay? So can you girls see it right here? We are actually melting this butter and stirring in the vanilla. And that butter is melting up there pretty quickly. And so I'm just going to reach back there. Let me see if I can get my cup again, and I'm going to measure out a cup of coconut. So hold on just a second. Let me get and I'm going to get my coconut out of the refrigerator, okay? All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut open the edge of this coconut, because I have not opened it yet. I'm going to cut it open here, and we're going to use about a cup of coconut inside them. So let me pour it. I'm pouring this in here. All right, there's our cup of coconut, and it looks like it's more than a cup, but if I push it around, it is a cup, okay? So we're going to add that in, just like that. And then I'm just going to stir this up, stirring this coconut right into the pan here. You talk about being good, guys. This is really good. This is so blasted good. All right, we want to get it all mixed in so that coconut will be all the way through the pie. Alrighty. Now then, let's see if I can reassemble here, and I may just move you just a second. I think I am going to pick you up. Excuse me just a minute, and I'm going to take you right with me. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I'm going to take you to this side so you can see. I've got my pie crust right here, so I don't want you to sit in my pie crust. Let's get that down. Alrighty, here is my pie crust. This is the pie crust that I got up this morning and made. So if any of you would be interested in seeing that at any time, I can make a pie crust and show you how to do that. It's very easy. It's another one of those things I learned growing up, and it is just so easy to do. here's my coffee. This is my NC State cup. My grandson goes to state, so I have to use my grandson's cup. All right, I'm gonna reach in and get my mixer, guys. It's just right here. I'm gonna just use my hand mixer. It's just a little bit easier to do. And we'll plug her in here, and I am actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beat these whites. These egg whites, we're gonna make our meringue now, okay? So I'm gonna take the egg whites. These are the 3 egg whites, and I am actually gonna beat them now, and we're gonna get them. What I want them to do is I want them to get stiff and to come to a peak. So I'm gonna beat them on high. And that will beat them and beat them and beat them until they get there. It doesn't take long to actually do this, okay? They will peak up here in just a second. Now after they peak up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring and probably about a 1/4 cup of sugar. So we'll get them into that peak before I add that, okay? Turn my bowl and just kind of keep beating. And you can see they're already starting to change and starting to get some bubbles in them, so they're starting to get big. They're starting to come to a peak. And you can tell when it comes to a peak. I'll show you just a second. You can look at it almost and tell because it starts looking real, almost like water. Just the waves are real thick. Okay, all right, now look right here. See here? See? They're thick and it won't come out. It won't pour out. It's thick. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my vanilla and we're going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. Right there we go. All right, and then I am going to add some sugar. You have to sweeten it up just a little bit, okay? So let's get our sugar down. Get the sugar down. And when I say this is a 1/3 cup, I always keep this little 1/3 cup in here. I don't put this whole thing in here. I put about 1/2 of a 1/3 of a cup. So that's probably not a 1/4, but that's somewhere there close, okay? All right, we're going to put that back up in here out of the way. I cannot stand to be cluttered in my kitchen, girls. That gets on my nerves. All right, let's beat this together now. After we do that, I'm going to start assembling the pie that you see it. See right there? See how it comes up in peaks? All right, that's the way we want it. Shake that off and just pop those down the sink so I don't make a mess. Get that out of the way. All righty, now then we're ready to assemble our pie. Okay, we're going to take this pie crust that I made this morning, okay? You can use, trust me, you can use a bought pie crust that you get out of the freezer at the grocery store. You can use that, but what you have to do is you need to bake it before you put this in, okay? Because the pie crust needs to be done before you actually put this in, because this is not going back in the oven. So you don't want to put it in a raw pie crust. So you could probably, if you wanted to, you could use like a graham cracker crust even. If you wanted to mix the graham crackers with this coconut, you sure could do that. All right, we're going to get all of this out. And then we're going to spread it around in here. Okie dokie. All right, now, see right there? Doesn't that look good? All right, now I'm going to change spoons here. And I am going in now with my meringue, and we're just going to put it over here on this pie crust, on this pie, and make us a meringue. And after I get it spread out, we're going to put some more coconut on the meringue. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, and then what I do right here is I just kind of push it around and try to push it right up to where it seals off with the pie, where you don't see the actual filling. I try to seal it into the pie crust, basically. Just pushing it along and just making it fit right in there. And then what I like to do is take my spoon, and then I just go back and kind of make little like waves in it. Basically is what it looks like. All right, then let's see. Now let's take our, now I don't measure this, girls. I just basically do it with my hands and just kind of sprinkle it. I sprinkle my coconut over the top of it, just like this. And you want to put enough that you don't want too much, but you want it to look like a coconut pie. So we're going to take it and put it all across it like that. It says 1/3 of a cup. I probably don't use 1/3 of a cup. All right. Now this is what it looks like so far. Okay, I'm going to turn you around a little bit. See if I can get you over here toward my oven. All righty, and I'm going to go put this in the oven, okay? Let me get me something to hold it with, just in case. All right, now I'm going to put this. Let's see, doggone it. Hold on, guys. Having this stuff, I hit bake instead of broil. I'm going to give it just a second because I actually hit bake instead of broil, so it was only on 350. 350 is not going to do anything to this, so I'm going to give it just a second, and we're going to put it in there. It won't take but a second. All right, let's go ahead and put it, and I actually set it up on the top because it is boiling, and I will watch it like a hawk here because we do not want it to burn. That is a no-no. And unfortunately, the way my oven is set up, I have to keep cracking it to see it. So I'll give it just a few seconds because it wasn't heated on top, it was heated on bottom. So I'm having to give it just a second to make sure, okay? That's the way I have to keep doing it because it's silly oven. My thing is so high I cannot see it. It's right up against the broiler. That's the reason it doesn't take long. It's getting ready to start, so it shouldn't be long now because on broil, all it's doing is basically finish cooking that egg whites and browning that coconut. And we don't want the coconut to get burnt. We just want it to be brown. Okay. We'll see the finished product in a minute if I don't mess it up. I smell like coconut in there. It smells good. Oh, that smells like I could take a bite. All right, I see coconut starting to brown, so it's not going to be long. We'll turn it around just a little bit and let it brown on that side just a minute, and then we'll, not a minute, just a second, and then we're going to take it out, okay? Just in case it didn't get browned on the right side. There we go. All right, yay. I'm done. Make sure I pick it up and don't spill it. I want to show it to you guys. Look at that. Does that not look good? It looks delicious. So, in order to make a coconut cream pie, girls, it does, you see what it took. It did not take much. There is the finished product sitting right here. And it did not take much to be able to get that coconut pie. So, if you have, you be sure to watch this again. And I've told you everything I've put in it, girls, and good luck. And please follow me. I am new on YouTube, and I would love for you to follow me. So just click down there and hit that follow button, and I will see you in the next time. Thank you.